Hi everyone, I've just had some nice stuff delivered and I thought we'd do a little bit of an unboxing. So we've got some stuff from Resin, very kindly sent to me. Thank you so much Resin for all your support of me and the craft community. They're very good to us and their products are great, as you know. Right, resin tape. I had already got some, but not as wide as this. This looks great. And so this is for doing things like backing open back bezels with while you're actually doing your resin, or for edging if you want to like put an edge round to top coat things and things like that. So look out for this being used in a video coming soon. I've had a few different brands of resin tape in the past, but I do find this one to be particularly good. And as I said, it's exceptionally wide. So I had run out. Thank you very much, Resin, for sending me that. And I will show you all that in use in a video soon. Right, next one we got here. Now I've had some of these before. Forgotten I'd asked them for these when they said what would I like. I've had this sort of thing before, but they have been big and messy to use. I'll show you. Hold on. Right, to me that's too big. Okay, that's one that's got more compartments, but it's just too big. I find that really messy to use. As you can see, this is just a nice size. It's smaller. And of course they do them with different numbers of compartments. So that was a cheap one from Temu. It's all right. I mean, I've used it and it's okay. But I'm just giving them a fondle because I can feel the difference in the silicone. This is softer and smoother. So that should be nice to use when we've got different ones. Oh, that looks, I might be doing something with that one. In fact, yes, let's try these out in a minute. I think those look really good. So let's try those out shortly. We'll have a bit of fun with those because I haven't done a proper dirty pour using one of this style of pot for quite some time. Because as I say, I found those other ones a bit big and unwieldy. So let's put that to one side. Now this, I believe, is one of their new products. And I saw it on their website. And when they said, what would you like? I said, can I have one of those, please? Because that sounds like a great idea. So that's how you get hold of Resin, by the way. There's the contact details on the box. I'll put the links for all of this down below. I have got a discount code for Resin for you. So if you fancy any of this, grab that discount code. It's worth having. Oh, God, that's a chunky mat. That's a lot chunkier than I was expecting. Oh, it's going to be difficult to get out of the box. Oh, it's funky. Oh, I like it. Yes, look, it's called a resin collector mat. Is it just the right size? Oh, it's big. It's big, actually. This is going to go over. Oh, they've got their name on it. There we are. Get the bits of polystyrene off. Isn't that nice? But yes, it's more than big enough for my table, actually. It'll be nearly big enough to go across two of them. So it can yes, go straight onto your desk, or in my case, I've got it on my levelling table. But the idea is that your resin drips through and it all collects and doesn't run off the edges. And also, because it's got this is very raised, then it's nice and easy for doming, because you can pop your pieces on here and it can drip off the sides and sorted. So if you're doming anything, top coating, that sort of thing, anything if you're pouring resin down over a creation to get like dribbles and colours running down, things like that, I'd imagine it'd be good for those paint pouring techniques where you where you pour and it dribbles off the sides. It'd be good for that sort of thing as well. So anything where you want it to collect, it's quite deep, look. Can you see that? That is, what, I don't know, 3 or 4 millimetres deep? A bit more maybe. So anything that you're doing that you want to collect any drips and run off, this would be awesome. And I can't get over how thick and chunky it is. That's fantastic. It's better than I expected it to be honest. Let's leave that on there, shall we? And we'll try working onto it. I've got some orders to make for Be More Witch. She wants some candle pots, and because she makes her own candles, so she wants the pots to put them in. And she also wants some of the little bowls that have got a thing to put an incense stick in the centre. So let me just grab the mould for that, and let's start on her order. Right, this is the incense pot. Incense stick pot. It looks like I need to have a little bit of a clean out in there because I've used this mould an awful lot. It's one of those really stretchy, squishy, soft, beautiful moulds from Boowan Nicole. And I've also got these, which I think these were Boowan Nicole as well. If anybody fancies anything from Boowan Nicole, I've got a discount code for them too. So this is a bit of a discount code fest, isn't it? But I got these with Be More Witch in mind. Yes, it's definitely a Boowan Nicole. You can feel by the beautiful softness of the rubber. And this mat, hear that? These are sticking to the mat. They're not going to slide around and be a pain. I like it. Nice one, Let's Resin. So these are all new things that I wanted to show you, basically. There we are. Now these are also incense stick holders, and they've got little moons on, look. So this has just got random moons. And this has got... What, did you like to see? Can you... Yeah, it's got the phases of the moon, but can you see that with these, the hole for the stick goes to one side? So that your incense stick can be like it's supposed to be. That's clever. Anyway, she's not expecting these. So, Be More Witch, if you happen to be watching this video, sorry, this is a bit of a spoiler. But I know you wanted some of these, so let's get those done. We're going to use... what shall we use? We shall use Eco Pour. And the reason I'm using Eco Pour is because resin is flammable. I don't think it's going to react too well to having the ashes from incense sticks falling onto it, whereas Eco Pour will just take it. It'll be fine, and you get that lovely stone effect to it. And I can just wax these. These will wax nice and easily because they're nice simple shapes, so it'll just be great little projects to do. Now I'm going to do these I could do these little bits in different colours, couldn't I? That'd be nice. But I think for this initial cast, I'm just going to do them in the same way as I'm going to do this. And that will be just with swirls of colours, because we are going to be using these rather cool pots. So let's get some Eco Pour mixed up and we'll see how we get on. So all we need is some water, because Eco Pour, it's you just mix it with water. It's really simple. So if anyone's not come across Eco Pour, this is it. It is a brand name. It's an eco-friendly casting powder. So it's one of these eco casting compound type things. You can get two-parters like Jesmonite and Boowanite, where you have a liquid and a powder, or you can get this sort, which is a powder and then you just add water. End results from them, all very similar in terms of, you know, it doesn't really matter which, it's your preference, to be honest, whether you like the two-parter or whether you like the one that you just mix with water. I like this one because it's just simple. You just add water. So nice and easy for me. Me of little brain. Now, the reason I particularly choose Eco Pour as my casting medium of choice is that I like how white it is. I find it easy to use, and it's just always reliable. Like I said, there's lots of different brands of this sort of thing out there. This one, oh, she says shooting it everywhere. This one is my personal preference. And also I find their customer service exceptionally good, which is always a good thing, isn't it? So I'm just going to clean some of that. I can run that under the tap later, can't I? Get the worst of it out. There we are. Now, all we do then is we mix it with some water, and I've found these little whisks to be ideal for this. Claire's Crafty Corner put me onto these whisks. She uses it for Jesmonite, and it's superb. They're superb for doing that with. So I thought, yeah, this is going to be, you know, similar in terms of mixing. So that'll be good. And I've only got two of these little whisks at the moment, so I'll have to clean one for the last. So these colours are from Homeware Design, and I don't have a discount code for you, I'm afraid, because I'm not an affiliate of theirs, but I very happily recommend them. These colours are absolutely gorgeous, and they mix so easily with these powders. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to mix them up first of all, and then we're going to fill up the segments of this pot. Now, the consistency you want is fairly thick. It should be about 1/3 water to the powder. So, well, it's 3 parts water, 10 parts powder, which is quite a thick mixture. I sometimes mix it a bit thinner and a bit too runny. What that happens is it takes a bit longer to cure. But I do eyeball it, I'm afraid. I'm not a good girl. I don't measure things like I should. Right, this is a new bottle. I've not used this colour before. There's 3 drops. That should be quite strong. It's very pigmented, this colour. Ooh, look at that. Of course, if you want a marbled effect, just don't stir it very well. Yeah, I'm afraid this is how I tend to mix it. I put water and I'll give it a stir. I'll see how thick it looks and see if I need to add more powder or more water. You want it really thick, about like double cream, I would say. Maybe a bit thicker than that. But this is how thick I've got this pot, and I quite like it about that thickness. A little bit thicker would probably be good. I think this one's a little bit thicker. I don't know. But mix it thoroughly. I don't find I need to sieve this powder. I know some people prefer to. If you prefer to, go ahead. Why not? But yeah, I don't tend to bother. Oh, these colours are going to be so pretty together. Now, I need to clean this off because I want white as well. Now, of course, because this is so white to start with, you don't need a white pigment. And of course, because it cures quickly and nice and hard, whatever's left in the pot, you can just tap your pot and out it'll come once it's cured. Thus making your little cups, and these are disposable party cups. Massively reusable. There's a bit of white left in there. Dripped over, never mind. Oh, here we go. Oops, there's that lump. Because I didn't get right into the corner of my pot. I think I've got more or less enough to do this. Just going to let it keep running out of the pot. Oh, you can probably squeeze it, can't you? Can you squeeze it? Yeah, you can. I'm just going to squeeze the last bit out of the pot. Looks like I will need just a little bit more to finish it off. But before I do, I'm going to give it a bit of a tap. Let it, because it doesn't self-level. So a good tap, just to loosen. You can see all the bubbles are coming up, look. And I'm just going to mix up a little bit more just of the white and chuck that in, just to finish, because I like quite a lot of white in with my colours. Now the colour is from Create and Bloom. It's called Rolling Purple. Can you see this colour? Isn't that beautiful? And these colours were made specifically for EcoPore. So you know they're going to work. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Giving it a stir there. Lovely. Again, dropping bits all over my moulds. Don't work above your moulds when you're doing this sort of thing, folks. I'm just doing it because I have to, because this is a small workspace for filming purposes. These are gorgeous moulds. I think just in a solid purple might look rather nice. We're going to mix up again. And I'll show you how you use these colours. You get a good big pot, by the way, and it's very intense. The pigmentation in it is very, very strong. You get, these pots go an awful long way, I've found. Then I'm going to add some colour. Like I said, you don't need much. A bit more water. When I say you don't need much, it depends how dark you want it to go, doesn't it, really? I want it to go darker than that. That is a beautiful lilac at the moment. It's a good consistency there. But I am going to put a bit more of the colour because I do want it to go darker than that. So let's go in with quite a bit. Purple is one of Be More Witch's colours. Her logo's got purple in it, gold in it. Very mystical sort of colours. So I want this to be really quite purple. As you can see, that still wasn't very much colour to put in to get that depth of colour because of the strength of the pigment. Yeah, I think that's going to be enough to do one of them. And we'll mix it up and mix some more up and do the other. So let's plop this in here. I might need more to do this one. Doesn't look as if I mixed the colour terribly well. Not too worried. Like I said, there's going to be bits from when I made a mess in my pot as well anyway. And we will then do some tapping, probably with these because there's those shapes in the bottom and I don't really want bubbles trapped in them. I'm going to do a bit of this, sort of picking it up and dropping it gently. And it's best to do that before you filled it right up because you're going to splash it everywhere otherwise. As you can see, we've got them mixed up. I've made a right royal mess in the process. Whoops, just going to move this over. Oh, look, you see, and I've spilt it. That wasn't intentional, but this will be a good way to test our mat. Making sure it stops everything running all over my desk. And I'll bring the other one back into shot for you too. There we are. Ooh, should have done this on a board, shouldn't I? That would have been easier. Okay, so we've got them all filled up. Actually, what would have been even easier would have been to move the camera. That would have worked too, wouldn't it? Oh, what's happened here? That's what's happened. Right, there we are. Sorted. So we've done some tapping. It looks like the colours are blending. Looks like we've got a marbly effect going on. Yeah, so this stuff cures in about half an hour or so. I tend to leave it for an hour to let it cool down and just really settle, and then we'll open them up and have a look. See you in a bit. So, okay, I forgot to press record. I'm so sorry. Anyway, these have come out lovely. I have had a little sand around the bottoms. I did get a few little bubbles trapped around the surface. I must remember next time to pay a bit more attention to around that edge when I'm working with that mould. But the colours have gone lighter than I thought, and they have sort of merged more than I thought. But it's still rather nice. It's muddied the white a little bit, which is a bit odd, but never mind. These have come out great. This one, again, I should have paid a bit more attention to getting the bubbles out, but I'm not too bothered. It's got like almost like a natural stone look to it, even though it's purple. I have gone around the edges just a little bit with my sander. That's the other bit I did before I realised I hadn't pressed record. The sanders are from Boowan Nicole as well, by the way, and it's a velcroed on piece of wet and dry, so you can sand with the abrasive paper either wet or dry. If you do it wet, you get a slightly smoother surface, and you do find that you don't get dust flying around, so that's a good way to do it. Now this one came out great. Now the colours did sort of, muddy a little bit. Well, not muddy, but you know what I mean. They sort of separated here and there slightly. Obviously didn't mix them in thoroughly enough, but that's given me that quite a nice, like a natural sort of stone type effect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our wax out and we're going to wax them. So I'll just have a quick clean up here and probably take the mat away. But look, it's done its job. It stopped it going everywhere. And yeah, this will just pop straight off and we can use it again. So I'm going to put that away for now and we'll get our wax out. Big thumbs up for the mat. That's just genius, that is. I think it'll be probably all the more useful when we're working with things like low viscosity type stuff. Just move my camera, there we are. Like, deep cast resins, things like that. And as I said, for top coating. Right, so let's get the wax. So this is the wax that I use. There are lots of different sorts of wax out there. This one is food grade, so you're okay to use this stuff. Once it's sealed, you can use this for food. That is a question I often get asked. This is actual food grade. The silicone is as well that they use. And it's waterproof and colour protects and so on. And it comes with a little sponge. Also from Boowan Nicole. And here we go. So what we're going to do is really rub this into the surface, which you probably don't want to watch over and over again, so I shall fast forward this bit or skip through. But you can see what it's doing is it's putting a sheen on the surface. So we'll just do this one and then I'll move on with the other two. I'll skip that bit for you because that's all we're going to do. I'll just start them off so you can see how the colour change happens. So you're just giving it a good rub, and I tend to leave it as well for half an hour or so before I buff it off, just to let it sort of soak in, I suppose. Now what will happen with this is you don't get too much of a colour change. It does make it slightly darker. That's just handy because you can see where you've been, really. Can you see? There's a little bit of a, just goes a little bit darker. It depends what colour you're working with, I find. Now if it's a bit difficult to get into the nooks and crannies, just get a brush and do it. I have actually got an old brush that I use for this sometimes. But that's all we're going to do. So I'll skip you through this bit and I'll show you the buffing off process at the end. So just bringing you back in here, as you can see I have got an old brush on the go. It's not stiff, it's not squishy too much either, because I wanted to give this a really good scrub into the mould, into the shapes rather. You know what I mean? Because you do need to be able to rub it, give it a really good rub in. So this is a good way of getting into those nooks and crannies. And then generally what I do is get in there like with my sponge afterwards as well. But yeah, basically that's it. Right, now I'm going to leave it half an hour. And then I'll show you the buffing off process. But this is the wax. It's just called sealer wax. It comes in that little kit with a sponge. It even comes with a little cloth to do the buffing off with afterwards. Now the reason I prefer this one to the other ones that I've used in the past is that as waxes go, it's a really soft one, so it's easier to use. Right. In half an hour. I don't know whether leaving it for a while is really compulsory, but I just tend to. I think it lets it settle in. See you shortly. Right, I'm back and I'm just going to buff this off, and literally that's all you do. Just keep rubbing and rubbing and you'll find what you're left with is a lovely silky finish. It's really, really nice. So like I said, you could use the water-based sealant that you paint on. That would work a treat as well. The one I tend to use is the one from Create and Bloom. I think I said that earlier, didn't I? It's very good. And you basically dilute your first coat so that it's nice and runny and you don't have like brush strokes in it. And then you let that settle in and dry, and then you put on another coat of it neat. So that works well as well. So you've got a couple of alternatives. I just like the finish of the wax. Obviously, if you are going to be using this somewhere where it's going to get wet, like in a bathroom, which reminds me, I need to make a bathroom set soon, then I tend to just do it twice, and that's not because it necessarily needs it, it's just that it's a good way of making sure I haven't missed any bits. So, just going to buff these off as well, and then we can do some photos. So thank you for watching, everyone. If you've enjoyed the video, you know what to do. The thumbs up button is just below your screen down here. It'd be marvellous if you could give me a thumbs up, thank you. And your comments, please. What I'd like to know from you is what would you like to do with these? Now I think I want to perhaps use a marker pen on them, but I've actually waxed it now, so that's going to prove difficult. But I was thinking maybe a metallic marker pen, or we could use ink stamps, but we'd have to seal over the top obviously, or acrylic paints. I'm thinking metallics could be quite nice, so I might do that with the next batch. But yeah, any other ideas? Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll be off now to take some photos, and I will see you for the next video. Thanks everyone. Take care. Bye.